All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. I know, let me introduce me and Volkin again. I know we must be strangers to you guys at this point. My name's Gacha Smack. That's Volkin over there in that corner, guys. You know, the tall, handsome Australian. Now, man, honestly, a lot has happened, and I kind of just want to walk us into what me and Volkin have been up behind the scenes, and then we'll go into our usual gacha dynamic where we go over Honkai Star Rail, ZZZ, Wuthering Waves, and any other gacha games of interest. Volkin, this is Gacha Cast episode what?
12, I think.
12, all right,
because
man.
we were getting back into the weekly routine, and then Smack decided to have the excuse of, I got COVID, and then he decided to piss off to Vegas, so that just ruined everything, didn't it? And once again, it is always Smack. It is never my fault.
I fucking love this, dude. I swear, we gotta continue this every episode. I take the L every time. Speaking of which, yeah, man, I caught COVID, and guys, I don't know if y'all thought it was a myth at this point. I did too, honestly. I literally did not know it was still a thing until I got caught with it. And this gene or whatever, apparently it lasts for 2 to 3 weeks. I'm still coughing this shit up, so it's a real pain in the ass. Which, by the way, when I caught it, it maybe lasted about 4 to 5 days. And then I had Vegas with my dad's 60th birthday. So there was no way in hell I was canceling my Vegas trip, regardless of whether I recovered or not. It just wasn't happening, bro. They were just going to have to take that L on the plane.
Smacks three weeks and about 36 injections into COVID. So
polluting everybody with this shit.
Yeah, dude, like every time I got COVID, I get it and I'm dead for 3 days. I instantly know when I've got that because it's like, I can't move, and I'm like, fuck, there's 3 days of my life gone. It's so bad.
I was going to say, do you gamble at all, Volkin, outside of, your investments and gacha? Do you gamble at all?
Not really. Like if I go to the casino, like maybe once a year, once every 2 years, I love playing a bit of blackjack. But like, not like big fucking tables. Like the most I'd burn is like 100, 200 in a night. You know what I mean?
That's pretty much how I do.
Yeah, I never gamble on sports. I never gamble on horses. I never gamble. Like, I've just never been into gambling at all, except for stuff that I can pass off as investing, I guess, is like the sort of riskiest things I go because I like the idea of actually getting a return. But yeah, that's about it.
I was only asking that because, I mean, first of all, I'm the same as you. I'm not like, I don't go to Vegas 18 times a year to gamble or anything like that. But whenever I do go, I generally go with like a $500 budget. And I'll spend that $500 on roulette, which is my shit. It's like you play numbers. And I usually play birthdays of my closest friends and family. So I'll usually play that, and I do pretty damn good. But I do blackjack as well. Those are pretty much the only 2 games I play.
Although, having said that, Vegas is completely different because Vegas, you sit at the table and play, and then you get free drinks. Yeah. So it's like
exactly.
Like, so you're essentially you're not actually like to me, like I'm happy to lose $100 or $200 a night if I'm getting all my drinks, and even food was free when I was there. It's been probably 8 years since I went to Vegas.
We don't get no free food.
Yeah,
it's crazy,
dude. I loved Vegas when I went there. It was a great trip because I was much younger then. I was like, she's 20 something, early 20s, I think. Getting old now,
it's a regular thing.
Grandpas.
Yeah, exactly. Grandpa smacking Volkin over here. Nah, but I was going to say, it's a pretty common place to go for Americans. Like we love going there, and we generally go with a boys trip. This time, since it was my dad, I took my girl up there. And the reason I'm getting into this, by the way, audience, I'm just like catching you guys up with how the experience was in case you ever go on your own. When I go with the boys, one day, Volk, generally feels like 72 hours.
Yeah,
it's just non-fucking stop. The casino lights are always bright. You don't have any clocks on the wall, so you never know what the fuck time it is. And the boys never want to sit the fuck down. So like when I went this trip, I went with that thought process. I was like, oh, we're only going there, babe, for 3 days because we go any longer than that, I'm probably gonna lose my fucking soul.
Yeah.
And we got there, and it was a completely different tune. It was like nothing was rushed. Me and my girl were chilling. We went to the pool. We had some good food and dinner. It wasn't like with the boys where it's just like balls to walls, bro. Gamble, drink. 2 hours of sleep. Wake up, do it again.
Yeah.
It's like I'm hanging out with 6 tectones, bro. Like, it wasn't like that. It was a completely opposite thing. And I came to a realization that I was like, this is actually a pretty good dating spot because all the restaurants are there. You walk your ass off to see all the good scenery. There's like a circus show that's badass, Volkin. And then there's like a Globe like movie theater where it's actually like really immersive. There's just a lot. It's like Date Chronicles. But I want to go back in. I'm yapping a little bit. What happened was my dad told me about slots. He's been telling me about slots for 8 fucking years. And he's like, son, that's where all the money is, son. That's where all the big money is there, son. It big. I finally tried slots, Volkin. This was the trip I lost the most money on.
Fucking hell.
I lost $900, bro. Playing this fucking genie game, bro. And it's one of those slot games. It tells you when you're close to hitting jackpot. So that's even worse on your mind. Because you're like, oh my God, they're floating. They're floating. I'm about to pop the motherfuckers, bro. I just got to put another 100 in. And I put another 100 in and still got shafted.
Dude. And this is why you shouldn't spend in gacha games, because they use all the fucking same shit.
Yeah, all the fucking mental games. And I bring that up because I do feel like it translates to gacha. You know, like that game, Volkin, every time you would get this little symbol in the slot, it would fill the bag up, make the bag grow bigger. It had animations, everything. The bag would start floating. And I was like, oh, it's about to pop.
Smack was in Vegas. He didn't beat a pity, and he didn't win a 50-50 the whole fucking time he was there.
Volk, bro, I don't think you understand. Hold on. Because I want you to understand how crazy this slot machine was. It made you think you were going to win big, and you would not win big. Y'all got to see this, literally. Look at this shit. Audience and Volk. So This is, you see the winnings?
Yeah.
So there's little balls on there, and if you fill up 3 of the balls, you win the price above.
See,
that's 20 grand.
To me, first, you're an idiot. Second, it just looks like one of those shitty, cheap gotcha games. This is all it looks like. It's like no one's dumb enough to fall for that, except for Gotcha Smack.
No, Volk, you gotta hear me, bro. Everybody falls for it in Vegas. That's the crazy thing. But Volk, look. I had 2 balls under 20 grand, 2 balls under 2,500, and 2 balls under 250. If one of them, if it would have went to one of them, I would have won like that much money. And people do win. It happens. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got lost.
Smack has a problem. Don't listen to me. Okay, that's moving on from Vegas.
More of the story, boys. Stay away from them slots, man.
Oh, shit.
Moving on to the next topic before we get into the meat and the soup of today, guys. Volkin is starting a Pokemon channel, and I'm starting a Monster Hunter channel. Volk, it's going to be a card channel, right?
Yeah.
By the way, me and Volk are fucking diehard card game fans.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this one. So Pokemon TCG Pocket is basically like it's like a shrunk down turbo mobile version of the TCG. And I just like, I saw that and I'm like, this is a game I can actually play with my son. And that got me so excited because we're actually, we play Pokemon, we play Yu-Gi-Oh! And we play the Digimon TCGs at the moment. And I was just
I'm
like,
envious, man.
Dude, I love this stuff. And then like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, which is the same thing, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game that like the only game on my phone that I still play that I don't make content for. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I slapped a new channel together. I'll probably have the first video out later today. I was editing it before we got into this, but yeah.
That game popped off when it came out too, Duel Links.
Oh yeah, so that's one and Smack's got his going as well for Monster Hunter. I tell you what, there's nothing more fun for me than starting a new channel and trying to grow a new channel. It's just so enjoyable. But
it's that something to chase, like we talk about all the time. It's that new motivation, a new reason to prove yourself. And like as a man, that is, I told you, we talk about men wanting to conquer naturally and intrinsically all the time. That's why Volkin's exciting, because you're like, oh, I don't have any advantages over here. Nobody knows me in this space. So if I pop off, I know that I'm just good at this shit, bro.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'll leave your channel and my new channel in the description as well if anyone wants to jump in. But when's Monster Hunter kicking off?
They just said 2025. If I had to give you a best like educated guess, it'll probably be somewhere in March or April, but I don't know. I have no idea. There's no way it's the latter half of the year. There's no way.
Yeah. That's because you've been Monster Hunter for like, you've gone through all the games, haven't you? Yeah. See, I never got into Monster Hunter.
I didn't go through all the games. I played Monster Hunter World. I played Monster Hunter Rise. I never played any of the other ones. And there's quite a bit of them leading up. But I got into it with World, and World like changed my fucking life, like for real.
Yeah. See, I like we've spoken about this before. I stopped playing like all games when I started playing
Once you
WoW.
became in the business.
No. Once I started playing WoW, like it was just all
I did not
WoW.
expect that answer.
Nah.
But I expected it.
Yeah, WoW just took over my life when I started playing it. It was like the only things that I played while I was playing WoW for like 7 years. The only other games that I played were the Pokemon games and the Halo games.
Do you think you'll ever get into an MMO if one ever comes up again that's actually like really fucking good?
I just don't
for
think it's
me,
possible.
it was the Riot MMO, and I was so pumped, and then they fucking canceled it. It ripped my heart out.
I just think I'm at a different stage in life, and I don't think I can get the same feeling out of an MMO as I did with WoW when all the boys were playing. Every night you get home, you'd be jumping on. The boys would all be on. All the boys have lives now. You know what I mean? Like everyone's
right.
moving on from that shit. But yeah, dude, like MMOs back in the day was the best.
Okay. I thought, my bad, guys. I spread misinformation. It says it's not canceled. So, but I just wanted to make sure that was cruise. You know how they are. It's not canceled. I thought it was canceled.
The game isn't canceled, but now Gacha Smack is.
Yeah, I'm canceled. I feel like it's, you hit it on the head though. It's just time is much more, strenuous these days for an adult with responsibilities to enjoy to his heart's content. Which is kind of the same way I feel too. Just don't have the fucking time, bro. 8 hours commitments a day, like nah, brother. On top of content creation,
and that's the whole reason I love the Gacha games is on mobile. I can do it while I walk the dog. Walk the dog for an hour and a half. I was just playing, doing my dailies and shit, and easy done.
I wanted to go into the 2.5 that's coming out. We've got updated story with what's been happening, which I imagine you haven't been. I know you don't care too much about the story in Honkai, huh?
I've shelved the story in Star Rail. I just that whole concept of waiting like 3 weeks for like half an episode of a TV show is just like burnt me out.
I get it, and I completely respect it. And then the community expects you to recollect every single thing that's ever occurred, and if you don't, then what the fuck are you doing with your life?
No one expects anything from me. That's the fantastic thing.
yeah, fuck you, Volk. Expect it from me, bro. Now, anyways, 2.5, Fei Xiao's coming out, and with her, they introduced this new banner concept that's a lot of gullible and naive people think is a good concept. Now, here's the funny thing. To their defense, it would be a good concept if the company had your pocket's best interest in mind. But here's the reality. The company doesn't have your best interest in mind. They have maximized profit in mind. So people are thinking this is a good thing in general. And Volk, you play devil's advocate or give the other thought or whatever. I look forward to it. They keep thinking the benefit of the doubt to Hoyoverse. They keep saying, well, they're going to rerun the characters. You're going to be able to get them more faster and more easier. And so characters that people have been waiting for, they'll finally be able to get them. Here's my rebuttal to that, Volk, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. They're going to keep placing the characters you want in the most inconvenient spots. How do I know this? Where did they place Ron May's rerun? Firefly. Right? Same time as Firefly's banner. Where are they placing Robin's rerun? Right next to fucking Fei Xiao, the same character that everybody's going to be wanting to pull on. Where did they place Topaz's rerun? Right next to Robin's first launch at the same exact time. They never will actually give you a character in a convenient spot. So this whole entire thing, although you think it's good, it's really designed for you to spend more money. And that's fine. My issue, though, is I don't like when people don't admit that it's the most pressurized way to get people to spend money. Instead, they defend it and say, well, you could just skip. Well, you could just do this, this, and that. True. Nobody's arguing this. All I'm saying is let's not pretend like they're not trying to maximize a profit and get the people to spend more money. Go ahead, Volt.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like they're putting it out because it's the characters that go with them. So if you want to build the team, you're going to have to do it all there. Now, it's also the fact that maybe if you put the banner after that, you could get that character, save up.
You have a better chance.
And then get that one. But then the whales would be pissed and they wouldn't obviously make as much money because the whales would be like, well, I'm not going to pull this character if I don't have the team. Oh, wait, I can get the team. So it's like, obviously they're going to cater to the whales. Like, I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. They're just trying to milk every cent out. So it kind of makes sense. The one thing I will say, though, is like Robin being so close to her release for her second run through. I do think speeding up the banners so that when you look at a new player perspective, so new players can get stuff whenever they jump into the game. Like you can get a good character when you jump into the game. I think that's a good aspect of it because if you think about it from a new player's perspective with how much content there is in the game, if you're a new player and you jump in this patch with Fei Xiao and you play through the game over that 3-week period, you might get Stellar Jades enough to be able to summon her plus a Robin. You know what I mean? Like for new players,
it's a huge might. 50-50 plays a heavy role in that one.
Yeah, just fucking reroll and don't be a pussy. Spend 16 hours rerolling, then you'll be fine. All right.
Volkin, the reroll guy.
so like, but think about how many jades you get from a full playthrough of everything in the game currently. I'd be curious to see what it is, but it's massive because you got all those events. Now
the
that
game
are permanent.
gets longer and longer, and so there's more and more
like
shit.
You level
out.
so fast. So yeah, for new players, I think it's good to be. But I something I've always wanted them to do is have a new player banner where it's just a rate up banner, but you get to select any rate up character to be that rate up character.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking sick. I think they should do that after X amount of time that the character's been out.
Yeah.
If the character's been out for 6 fucking months, I think it's okay if you allow people to get them a little bit easier.
Yeah. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, running more banners does mean there is more chances. But yeah, I agree. They're doing it to make more money. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, what do you expect from them? Like, do you expect them to be like taking care of your wallet? No, they're there to fucking take all your money.
But that's to my fucking defense. My defense was, this shit is scummy as fuck. They're trying to get you niggas to spend more money. And their defense was, well, it's actually it's a good thing. I'm like, what the fuck are you? That's not a good thing. And then to your argument of you saying the new players can pick the players, what do you think a new player is going to do coming into Honkai Star Rail today? The first thing they're going to do?
Coming like from the next patch?
They're going to go to YouTube. Because they don't know what the fuck's going on. And what's going to be happening on YouTube? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you can say a new player can do this. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to go to YouTube, and all the YouTubers are going to be telling them how broken Robin is, how broken Fei Xiao is, and then the signature light codes. And then they're going to be telling them all these things that are going to pressurize them into feeling like they need to acquire both the units. A lot of people like thinking about the other part of it where they just say, well, the new players not going to be able to play in game anyway. None of that shit matters. Like I said, it goes back to the slot machine concept, bro. I only need one more ball up there and I get that 20 grand. Yes, I could say no, but they have done it in a way that puts the most stress on the consumer. Whereas, as we talked about earlier, the Robin play could have been spread out, could have been reran two patches before O Girl's release. That would have gave people more room. But then again, that would have also cost them more money. They could have made they would have made less of a profit because people would have had more time and comfort to decide on acquiring these characters.
Yeah,
they are doing it in the most pressurized and focused way to get you to go, oh fuck, I need to get this character now. And that's the reality of it.
But my thing, and this is why I struggle to care about these things, because obviously they're doing it to maximize revenue. Mm-hmm. That's what I expect them to do. And if you fall for that, that is your fault. No one else's.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, like, people have to have accountability over their own emotions, and like, and so this is my whole problem that everything comes back to for me in all this stuff. It's like Smack's just hitting up there, fucking get around it. Is it good? what are you munching on there, mate?
All I was saying, bro. By the way, I agree with all of that, Volk. The only reason I say this stuff is because they go, Hoyo is doing so good. They're so nice. They're so generous. That shit is what irritates me, because I'm like, how the fuck do you think this is generosity, bro? This is not generosity, and that's my problem, Volk.
Okay, yeah, no, I just don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm just like, no, like they're maximizing profit. It's good for whales. It's hard for free to play, and that's the way I view it. Like for me, like Fei Xiao, like, she looks so cool. Like, I really want to get her. I've only got like 8,000 jade saved, obviously being free to play, and like 15 rate up tickets. And I'm just like, I got none of the teammates. Like, I don't have Robin. I don't have Topaz. You know, like, I don't have Mr. Bust. Like, I just got no, like, I'm just like, no, I'm fucking scared. I'm just waiting for 3.x, wait for the next power creep, because I mean, I've got my S1 Acheron, I've got my E2 S1 Firefly on my free to play account.
Yeah.
That'll get me through to 3.x. Like, let's face it, there's nothing that's like, I'm like, oh shit, I need to do that. Like, you're just putting the shit on auto once every couple of weeks. Like, it's not too bad.
That was a side topic that I wanted to get into next too. If you're a new player listening to me and Volk's podcast for whatever reason, do not invest in follow-up if you are on a budget. Follow-up is the worst fucking path and concept in Honkai Star Rail to play on a budget. It is the most expensive shit. It's disgusting. Whereas everybody else, you just get their character, you pick up 2 universal supports, you call it a day.
Yep.
With follow-up, oh, you need like 18 different characters, bro. So I wanted to go into that. But the last thing to wrap up this subject before we go into the next one, Volk, is giving out a 10 pull every single patch while adding more banners volume-wise. Do you think giving out a 10 pull still suffices?
Oh, I just don't give a fuck. If I'm being completely honest, like it's just one of those things. Like I'm just like, and this is my problem because like being a content creator, everyone wants you to whinge about shit, and I'm like, mate, I just whatever's given to me is what I play with.
Yeah.
And that's like, I just, you know what I mean? It's one of those ones, especially in this type of game. In other games like AFK Journey, I was very vocal on the issues like over there about that we were having because it was fundamentally a different game. And when you have competition, it's a bit different as well. But yeah, in this one, I mean, I don't know.
I think that's a horrible fucking mindset. And the reason I think it's a horrible mindset is because I think that these games die if we don't spend money. If we make the company $1 billion, the company, as a gesture of respect, not out of necessity, not because they have to, but out of a gesture of respect, they should say, let's give them a couple of currencies to get a character here. If I'm going to increase the pressurized shit and maximize the profits and all of that, there's no way you're still giving me a 10 pull and presenting me 4 characters when you used to only present me 1 character. 40 pulls would still be insane, but it would be more of a respectful thing to do. Here's what and hear me out right here. I'm not saying they should give out 40 pulls, but if you give out 40 pulls, Volk, and there's 4 fucking banner characters, how many wishes do you need to acquire all 2 of the 4? Not all of them. I'm not expecting everybody to acquire 2 of the 4 characters. You need a bare minimum of, well, if we're not considering RNG, 180 fucking wishes.
No, that's just to get one. That's just to get one.
That's bare. I said bare minimum. Maximum would be to 180 to get one.
Well, bare minimum would be 2 because you hit 2 singles.
That's what I said. I said not including RNG, fucker. on average, we'll do 70. 70 bare minimum to get 2 of the 4 they're presenting. You're gonna need 140 wishes, which means if they gave you 40, you're still not even getting 1 character, unless you just got good insane luck. That's what I'm trying to say, Volk. I'm saying 10. Bro, 10's not even 10% of a 50% chance of getting a character. And people were like, well, what else? At what point should you not give wishes? All I'm saying is be respectful about it. Okay, y'all have brought us in $1.3 billion this year. Let's up the 10 pull now to 20 pulls. And that, I feel like that is going to serve them better in the long run because 20 pulls ain't guaranteeing nobody characters. It's just helping out a little bit more and saying thank you. Do you disagree with that? Like, I feel like for me, that's how I view this business model. It's completely free. It's succeeding because of us. And you're still giving us the same 10 pool. I don't know. I look at that as an objective sense of just saying, yeah, we're not giving you anything more, even though you've made us way more money than we thought we could have made.
Yeah. Well, see, I just look at it. I just look at it from their point of view. If we give them more, they'll probably spend less.
No,
right, they're still happy to spend. They're still happy to spend. We're obviously still spend. I mean, you look at Star Rail especially. Like when you look at that last revenue, which we'll talk about in a minute. Go for it. Star Rail smashing it compared to their other games, in my opinion. Star Rail's making squillions.
I agree.
Dude, that's a whole nother topic I want to get into. Like the success of Star Rail versus the other games. Dude, I'm so fucking sick of open world games. Shit. They're like just so over it. And that's why Star Rail's so good. The turn-based is the fucking juice. But I get what you're saying, but you're expecting them to have morals when it's a business and they don't have morals.
But the 10 pull that they give us is not morals. I don't really look at that as morals. I just look at it as good business. Like I said, Volk, if we go back...
Wait for about 3 more Hoyo games, and then one of the it's. I called it when it all happened with the Genshin shit about the 3 pulls thing, because since back then I've always been on the whole thing of like, why is 10 enough? Like I'm with you on it. It's just it's so far done that I just don't care anymore because it's just it's a mute point. But in three Hoyo games time, they'll be giving you 20 pulls every patch, and then everyone will be hating the 10 pulls that we get in Star Rail, whereas it used to be seen as the greatest thing ever. So I think it's honestly just levers that they're using to keep making the next game look better, the next game look better. You know what I mean? I feel like it's kind of a snowball.
I do. No. You're cooking right now, 100%. I think that angle you came from was the best angle for me to see where you're coming from. What I will say though is like that puts me on a topic we didn't even put down. They're doing worse revenue-wise with all their games they've dropped, though. Like, it's not like they're making more money overall now, because if you go and look, you've been keeping up with my coverage.
Dead patch, mate. Fucking
I know you've been keeping up with my shit, bro. I feel like I cover that shit better than anybody else, and that's not like a brag or anything. I feel like I'm the most analytical and the most fucking pragmatic, whereas a lot of these guys just talk out their ass. And I end up being right. I even make predictions before shit happens. It's like the most concrete, guys. All right, I'm tooting my own horn here. But what I wanted to say is their plan doesn't appear to be working with Zenless Zone Zero. We'll see what happens with Jane Doe, but I actually feel like they're putting themselves in less of a profitable situation as things stand now. And they're banking on more people to join, and I don't think more people are joining.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Volk, I just covered Zenless Zone Zero Jane Doe pulls. It's performing. Yeah, like it's like the hype is not there. For
nah,
Zenless
your
Zone
channel's
Zero.
just dead. Don't worry about it.
It's dead. Dead and gone. I've actually been killing it, but that game is the one game where it's like. There's no hype around it. And people try to make the excuse where they go, oh, it's just people just don't watch it on the internet. Oh, they don't watch a Hoyo game on the internet. When the hell did this become a thing? You know what I'm saying? And I look at this and I go, yeah, I don't see how the fuck Zenless Zone Zero is actually going to do these world-breaking numbers that people think it's going to do when every single metric that I've seen is showing this right here. It's showing basically kind of similar to Wuthering Waves.
Yeah, I struggled to talk on the topic because, like I said, I got to the first cutscene. There was no skip button, and I uninstalled the game. So
you don't have any
I
insight.
know roughly what's going on, but I just, like I said, action. The action games are just like I'm done. I'm just burnt on action games. Like it's not what mobile is for, because it just ends up making me sit at my PC forever, and it's just like. I like having games on my phone, believe it or not. Like I like a mobile game to be on my mobile and actually...
You live a healthy life.
Yeah, so...
That's why. You don't like sedentary. You don't like being stationary where you're stuck somewhere. You can't go do anything.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like it's an interesting one, but yes, I definitely see what you was like your whole viewpoint that if the net costs of the company... Hoyoverse go up and the revenue stays the same, I do think that they are getting people from one game and the other. And I maybe those people are increasing their spending by 10, 20% overall, but I feel like you're robbing Pete to pay Paul. Like you're like, and because that's the way I've always seen Hoyo is it's like it's its own, because like in this space, people talk about the gacha gaming space. But when a lot of people say that, they're referring to the Hoyo space. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of its own separate thing to the rest of the gacha sphere, at least from my experience. And so I think they are just recycling players through their games, and because Zenless was. It kind of wasn't completely new. I think Star Rail would have brought, and I don't know the statistics, this is me talking out my ass, but
I looked at it.
I feel like Star Rail would have brought in a lot of new players that weren't Genshin players, because it was turn-based, and that's a big difference. Zenless is, well, you look at Honkai Impact Third. Zenless is pretty much the same sort of concept. I haven't played any deeply, so I apologize.
It's like a more refined and better version.
Someone's probably going to say they're different, but like the same sort of instance-based action RPG, and then Genshin is just an open world action RPG. So you got 3 games now that, in my view, feel fairly similar, which would get the same sort of audience around it. So I don't know. I feel like they're just shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic.
Yeah, you kind of, exactly. That's a good analogy.
That was one of my dad's favorite.
I've never heard that before.
That was one of my dad's ones. Yeah,
fucking dads, man. They got all the sayings. All right, well, hell, man. Let's go ahead and move on to gacha revenue sales. Volk, what the fuck happened with AFK Journey, bro? What the nobody expected? You know how Styx Styx always has the biggest. No one expected this. Players are shocked. That would have been like players were actually shocked when they saw that shit. Bro.
Yeah, dude.
AFK journey.
So the thing with the revenue, and someone else that you like use this cheat if you want to do your how you predict stuff. App Magic is another one that tracks it, but in real time, so you can look at the month of August and so I was tracking it through the month.
App Magic. Let me put that down.
Yeah, so like I was tracking it through the month, but it only goes in brackets like 20 million to 50 million, 50 million to 100 million. Like, so it's very broad, but like AFK Journey was at the top because I was watching it because they had their Asia launch on the 6th of August. And and yeah, like the revenue went through the fucking roof. Like, because it was China, the big ones were China and Japan and then a bunch of other ones.
Yeah. So I'm confused. I thought it released worldwide the first time, but I guess I'm learning that it didn't.
That was what that we called global because like how normally you have like Asia then global, like those are the two. Like in gacha games, that's what they normally go to. But yeah, they delayed Asia. Normally, it's the opposite way around, where Chinese companies release in China first, and then they go, "Oh, we'll make the global." Whereas this one, it felt like the global was like the beta testers, and they made all their fuck ups and fixed them, and then improved everything in the Asia launch. And then they actually released good characters as well, which we went like 3 months in the game without a pullable character or like, a must pull character. And then they went like two really good characters in a row. And so, yeah, obviously new people on those games building up their account, they're spending shitloads to get their account to a base. So that'll fall off massively next month. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Monetization is wild too. Like it's got some huge pay to win variables in it. It's insane.
Yeah.
But the rates are so good to acquire copies.
And pay to win is something that is more accepted in China and Japan and stuff like that. So they just dump the cash in. So that's essentially what happened. But I still wasn't expecting it to do that much. I was fucking shocked at that, even though I was like tracking it. But now I just want the motherfucker. I just want them to put that money to marketing to the West again, so I can get some fucking higher views on that channel, man. Because they killed, especially they burnt a massive amount of their Western audience because they just had so many shit issues at the start of the game. But now that it's fixed, it's actually pretty solid.
And that game's fucking, dude, that game's ad revenue was insane. I'll never forget that shit, bro.
Yeah, dude. It's like, it was like 4 times. It's dropped since then. Because because something that I've learned, because I've played a bunch of games for different publishers.
You're well-rounded.
Lilith seemed to really must crank up the ads, try and hold all the ad space on their own games when they launch, because during the launch of their games, the ad revenue on them is insane compared to anything else. But then after like a month or two, it drops off.
Yeah, well, I thought, didn't you explain that to me too? Isn't that also because of they are targeting a heavy Western-centric audience too, and Western dollars more higher value?
Yeah, so on YouTube, like when you look at it, like an American viewer pays about 10 times the amount of like an Indonesian viewer or something.
Okay, so see, it's funny because Volk changed my life on that one, audience. I was just like, oh, okay. So next time these games come out, I need to see who has a heavy US-oriented audience. Just to give y'all some perspective, bro, it's like fucking $3 per 1,000 views right now for HSR and these fucking big gacha games that I cover. And for AFK, when it came out, it was like fucking $10, $12, which is 3 to 4 times the dollar per 1,000 views. Yeah. Can you imagine that, man? So if I had 20,000 views, I'm making, I don't know, whatever, $200. This fucker's making $800. Yeah. So I was just like, dude. And I never knew that Volk in 5 years of my life, how that worked. Yeah. that was a game changer to me, man. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Yeah. But yeah, Love in Deep Space is the next one, man. We got to talk about. Dude. Have you looked at, I know you are confused the most. I know you are confused.
No. Two games that make me lose. I don't know. I once I saw Love in Deep Space, I went on YouTube. I typed in Love in Deep Space. I saw like someone doing a VTuber doing a 3-hour fucking stream of it. I scanned through. I did not see one bit of gameplay. Apparently there is gameplay, so maybe people are enjoying the gameplay. But I don't think that's what people are really enjoying it for. And 2 games that made me lose all faith in human society is Love in Deep Space and Uma Musume. Those two games,
that shit is wild. That's the horse racing one, right?
That's the horse racing waifus.
But it's anime.
It's anime waifus on a horse racing track running around, and it has been like the biggest game in Japan for like 3 years, and it's always up there. And it's just like, because you know what people are spending money for, and it's like, why?
Oh my god!
Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand it. I get what the appeal is and why people are spending money on it, but it's like,
and by the way,
is my question. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I do. But the audience of these games, before you get out your pitchforks on Volk feels his way about every. He's not a hypocrite. He feels his way about every gacha game. Because they're if I say that, they're gonna be like, you don't have a problem with Jane Doe showing her ass. Why are you complaining about Love and Deep Space showing hot males? Volk doesn't give a fuck about nothing. He doesn't like any of it. He just don't like any of it.
But that's why I said Uma Musume is the other one. And I've always said this about Uma Musume. I'm like, it's just waifus running around a horse track, and that is the game. I'm like,
saying that out loud is wild.
And so and then Love and Deep Space is just the same version of that, but instead of catered towards loving waifus running around a horse track, like what the fuck? It caters to
that shit is 10x though. Like I saw some shit on that and I was just like, okay, this is just like, because there's levels to, like, horniness, bro. That shit is a maximum horniness.
Oh, see, I haven't even gone that deep into it. I'm just like surface level. Okay, people are spending money because they want their husbando, and then in fucking Uma Musume, they want their waifu horse racing chick, which is just weird as fuck. And then I'm just
That's way weirder than Love and Deep Space to me.
Why are people spending so much money on this? Like, I just feel like. And like it's the same when you get into characters and stuff, and everyone's pulling because they love the character, and it's like I just feel like there is such a fucking like a level of difference that is just crazy to me.
That Love and Deep Space game, though, I will say this: it has Unreal Engine like designed characters. They look pretty damn close to realistic with an anime design. And women are going crazy about it. I'm pretty sure gay people are going crazy about it. LGBTQ plus community, they're probably going crazy about it too. But like, there's when you acquire the character, you get these romantic scenes with the character. And these guys are fucking me and you in our prime on steroids. Like they're stacked, boy. and they're like, they got their deep voices and they're just like, I want you to be rough with me. Do you want me to be your little boy? Your bad boy? Did you twist my nipple? That hurt. Like, it's shit like that, bro. That's what I'm trying to. It's maximized, bro. I was watching that shit and I was blown away because I didn't know it went to that level. But then I heard that there's also combat and all this other stuff to it. But I knew the real reason they're making that dollar was because of that. They're picking up these 5-star characters who are hot and they're getting these romantic scenes and fulfilling that fantasy.
And that leads me on to the follow-up on Love and Deep Space. Fucking props.
Yeah.
Great business, all right? Like, hey, you're doing it.
It's great business. Yeah, and see, that comes back full circle, though, to that whole, I said the pressurized with the banner cells and shit. I know who's falling for that shit. I know who's getting got by that, bro. It's crazy, man. A lot of those things, you can go down rabbit holes with the discussions of them. But is there anything else you want to touch about that before we move on to the next one?
No, I think that's it.
Gacha game hype is what I wanted to go into next. I want to talk to you about gacha game hype dying down. This is something I feel like myself. I'm not sure if it's true. It's not even true. It's literally purely opinionated and subjective. I personally feel like the gacha space as a whole is the excitement for it, the hype for it, it's starting to diminish down. And I feel like because that the cause of that occurring is due to people, which is crazy, playing multiple games that are trying to align themselves with what Volkin likes to call the Hoyo model. I think managing all of these games at once is like a recipe for you to just completely kill your enjoyment of a gacha game, unless you're a content creator who has business inside of that dynamic. Because a good thing about me is I always have something to talk about, which makes it exciting. I always have a community to engage with. But if you're just somebody who's just playing these games purely for the enjoyment, I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether you agree with, I'm kind of getting tired of this shit. I'm kind of looking for a different space. And Volk, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, I think it's just that we had a bunch of shit go on. Like we had a bunch of hype stuff, and now it's just we're in a bit of a lull, and so that's why it seems to die down across the board. But in general, it's just seasonal. It'll come back because like when you think about it, like you think from like I think from Star Rail. I don't look at Genshin and stuff like that, but from Star Rail we had Acheron, we had Firefly, we had Wuthering Waves, then we had Zenless Zone Zero launch. So that is like a long time of like heavy dopamine rolling through. Yeah. And now we get into a bit of a lull. Like the last, what's old mate's name coffee. What's old mate's name on Star Rail at the moment? Like I had no interest of.
Zhao Show.
Yeah, the NPC dude. I just like I had no interest in him.
The NPC dude. The NP who?
NPC. Like he just
the
looks,
NPC.
He just looks like an NPC. Like I was just like, there's nothing exciting about this character.
So Volkin compared that the hype thing. He basically compared it to like having a caffeine rush and then you have the crash. He's basically saying we're in the crash period right now, based off of his subjective thoughts. But go ahead, though. Volk.
Yeah, and I think like I'd be curious to see like. I don't know. It's hard to know, but like not everyone is playing every game. So people just get into their set game. They cruise through and just wait for something new to come in that game. I do think heavily in the Hoyo space, a lot of people will try all these games because, you know, everyone's talking about them and stuff like that. So I do think that's why there's been a heavy like overstimulation into a bit of a lull. I mean, didn't Genshin just have its update? Like a big update?
It did. Zenless Zone Zero just had their Jane Doe drop, and there's like only 10,000 people on Twitch right now watching.
Wait, so she's actually in the game now.
She's in the game today, and I shit you not, this is probably the least hype I've ever seen like any game. It's almost like you don't know, bro. Jeez, it's like I'm blown away by that shit, Volk.
I'll tell you what, I watched that trailer. I've been watching the trailers.
Oh, dude, that trailer was crazy.
I was like, holy fuck, they are really they are catering, aren't they?
Yeah, they're catering hard, bro. I was blown away by that shit, Volk. I was like, what? There ain't no way they did this.
Can I just say something? Can I say something? I think Hoyo do this purposely, where they give you an insinuation of a character's sexuality without explicitly saying it so that people will fight about it on Twitter. I 100% think that is a thing because as soon as that happened, I opened up Twitter because I've been checking to see if I get any updates on the Pokemon TCG Live. Anyway, so I opened up Twitter for that and then all I see people is arguing whether she's lesbian, whether she's not. I'm like, fuck, they 100% make that happen. I just don't think there's any world in which they don't. Where they insinuate it, but they don't say it straight out so that you will purposely argue about it and then people will get more emotionally attached to the fact of it. There's no way they don't do that.
I mean, I'm not going to say that they don't do it. It's definitely a angle for it. What I will say is if they do, it's a business theory of, hey, any engagement is good engagement. Who cares what the fuck they're talking about? They're getting our game to be spoke on, and that's a huge positive. But I will say, people really get into it and they get offended about it. I got called a homophobe like several times in the comment section because I said that shit was cringe that a girl was in the chair instead of a guy, because a guy has two balls and a dick between his legs. So if a girl's between there, something's gonna rise. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be able to resonate with that a lot more powerful, bro. You know. And at the end of the day, I'm a straight fucking man. If I go to a lesbian's channel and I see her saying, oh, I'm so happy a girl's in the chair, I'm not going to call her a straightophobe. I'm going to say she's a lesbian. That's exactly what I expect from a lesbian. You are a fucking idiot to call somebody a homophobe for wanting a straight man to not be straight. It don't make no sense to me.
You know where I could see this eventually going? Is you know how you have male and female MCs, so you can pick your path? Wouldn't surprise me if they started having like straight and gay versions of the game, like cutscenes where it's like that trailer. You've got one where it's a dude in the chair and one where it's a chick in the chair, and then you can just customize it for whatever your preference is.
Well, I think that'll be a genius idea. The problem is they said that in China, most of the people get offensive to the degree of where they want to cause harm to you when you take away the flower of the girl, I guess. If they put a male, this is what people are saying. In China, the reason they don't put the males in the chairs, because one, it's too close to actual sexualization. Because of a male and a female, it's just more sexualization. Two, the people who get like emotionally involved with these idols are going to be very fucking angry that a male is like taking away what they should have only. But when you put a girl in a chair, they don't see it that way. That's crazy, right?
I'm going through that logic in my head. So we're saying a straight dude in China watching that would be offended if it was a dude because that dude wasn't him.
Yes.
But
they don't see the vicariously.
But then if it's a chick, he can say, no, that's just because it's a chick. But if it was me, it would be okay.
Yeah.
Like she, I don't know. This shit gets deep.
It's but then like there's actual instances in the past where we've seen them get pissed. I can't think of them. I guarantee you our comment section is going to explain.
There was
a
bunny outfit thing, wasn't there? That's the one I always hear about.
Yes. That was the one where like lives were threatened and shit because they put a bunny outfit on somebody. Y'all will know. Fucking refresh our memory. But they get really pissed when their idols are basically not. It's not deflowered because they're not losing their virginity. But that's the best thing I can think of right now, terminology wise. They're basically taking away the preciousness of the character only being theirs. But it doesn't. They don't think that when it's just a girl on a girl. What if she puts a strap on, bro? Then what are you gonna say?
Oh, I got no idea, dude. This shit's just too far for me. Yeah,
I know, man. All right. Anyways, dude, the last topic, we want to touch up on Rappa because we both like Jet Set Radio. We think that shit is fucking cool, and I think Rappa's probably the coolest character. I do like Fei Xiao though. Fei Xiao's like fucking so insane to me. She's sick, but Rappa. That is like something I didn't even expect them to ever bring to Honkai Star Rail. It's like a space theme trope. So when they brought in that like underground artistic that shit was sick to me. I loved it, man.
Yeah,
and then
dude,
she has a chakram blade.
Yeah, I love the chakram. And yeah, like I just remember playing Jet Set Radio Future. It was like the first game that came with my Xbox when I got my original Xbox. And that was just so cool because like all the different characters you had in that, and you'd go rollerblading around the city and spray paint the sign, and you'd get all the unlocks. And the music was like I can't remember one song, but I just remember feeling like the music was like just really cool. It was just an insane vibe of a game. And that's like when I saw her, that's exactly what I thought about.
And I feel like I spoke about this. I made a video in Vegas, just one, and I was talking about that. But like, I feel like Hoyo has all the tools to make a Jet Set Radio game with the Hoyo twist on it. Like they could fucking kill it with the music. Zenless Zone Zero's vibe.
Zenless vibe has a sense of that vibe. I remember saying that when it came out.
And the art style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It like they have all the tools to make a Jet Set Radio game, and I think that would be fucking insane, Volk. Every character has their own drip and swagger to them, their own skate style, their own paint style, and the theme when you're skating with them. Yeah, I was just like, bro, it'd be a hit, man.
I just remember there was the one map in Jet Set Radio Future, I think it was, where you were on like there was like roller coasters, and you could get to like to the top of these roller coasters, and I picked the character with the fastest roll speed, and it's like that shit was just cool. Like
it was too cool, man. It was too cool.
And that was so long ago. That was so long ago.
That game's timeless, man. I guarantee you hop on it today and it'll still be fucking cool. Yeah. Obviously, it won't have the same exact dopamine, but I think you'll still be like, oh my God, dude, this game's so sick. Like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, bro.
Dude, yeah. Like, and a lot of those things, you just remember them better than they are to go back to them. It's like the original Star Wars movies. Like, I watch them again and I'm like, oh, geez, I'll just stick to remembering these. Someone's going to get offended by that, but I can't watch that shit anymore.
I can still watch Waterworld. I'm one of them people. I actually don't have a problem with the time that has passed. What I'm trying to tell you, I can go back and play Final Fantasy VII, the old school version, all over again. Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy VIII. I can play all those little pixelated games and not be bothered by it at all. But I think I'm just heavily biased towards it.
Yeah, I mean, I can go play Halo Combat Evolved and enjoy every second of it too.
Gears of War 1, man. Fuck, bro. I fucked some shit up in Gears of War 1.
Yeah.
No, but that's all I had on the agenda for today, Volk. Is there anything you want to finish us off with? Or is that all? We talked about a lot of controversial topics. Our comment section is going to be juicy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, man. I got nothing else to go on. We'll try and get someone on for next episode, see if Smack's going to like pull out for some reason again, but besides that, we should be back.
Bro, this shit is so good. Chile, lime, Lucas. Oh my God. And you can put it on fruit too. They probably ain't got this shit over there in Australia with those kangaroos and shit.
What is it? What is it like? what is it though?
So they actually sell this type of shit in stores for literal fruit. You just put it on fruit, and it's a sour tooth type of craving. It's very bitter and flavorful, but essentially it's just a bunch of different spices. It's Mexican as hell. I'll tell you that. It's chile, lime flavored, and they've got chili pepper, lime juice, paprika, and some other bullshit up in there that makes it really
it's
good,
not something you're supposed to just shove straight in, is it?
It's literally not something you're not supposed to do that with. But I'm shooting this shit. I'm shooting this shit like a shot, bro.
Oh, dude.
All right, guys. Hey, man, I hope y'all enjoyed it, man. Me and Volk are back. I know our schedules are hectic, but we try our best to deliver these episodes, man. We're just two brothers trying to deliver some content and shoot the shit with y'all. Thanks for watching, and peace, love, and happiness. Catch you guys on the flip side.
Cheers.